Hello, this is Jimmy T with Eye on Inyo, Family Wellness to Healing Court. And we have Judge Stout to tell us about a brief background about it, which is a noble cause. Welcome, Judge Stout.
Thank you.
Please tell us about the Healing to Wellness Court.
I need to talk a little bit about Native American history and background to perhaps help your viewers better understand why we're embarking on this joint jurisdiction court between the Superior Court of California, County of Inyo, and the Bishop Pike Tribal Court. As many people are aware, we're dealing now with what's being referred to as historical or generational trauma. I think many people, especially in this area, understand and appreciate the history and genocide and Native Americans, and even more recently, going up into the 70s, the intentional governmental breakup of Native American families. We have local history of kids being taken from their parents, sent to boarding schools. Unfortunately, many of them died or were killed. We're still finding, more recently up in Canada, unmarked graves, Native youth, Indigenous youth that have been removed from their families. You know, they were trying to assimilate them to be white and cutting their hair, which with a young male is a very sacred
sin, basically.
Yes. Not letting them speak their native language, wear their dress, their ceremonies. And we've learned that even when families, Native American families, don't want to talk about that history and they don't share it with their children or grandchildren, it's still passed on. They call it epigenetics, and I'm out of my league right now. But they learned a lot from descendants of survivors from the Holocaust, that this historical trauma is still in their DNA.
Yep.
And that's what we're starting to learn more about Native Americans and the passing down generation to generation of this historical or generational trauma. And it's particularly significant in child welfare cases, where you may have a mother, for example, who's the victim of domestic violence. And whether you're white or regardless of race, women are in that domestic violence situation. The dynamics of that makes it very, very hard to leave that relationship, to cooperate with authorities, and that's a whole discussion in and of itself. But for Native American women, they're scared that their child's going to be removed on the theory of the mother failing to protect the child from the domestic violence perpetrated on the mother. And so it triggers that generational trauma. Here comes Child Protective Services, social worker with the sheriff, and we're the government, we're here to help you, and that translates, no, you're the government and you're here to break up my family and remove my children. And unfortunately, California has been very cognizant of the Indian Child Welfare Act, which was passed by Congress in 1978 to remedy many of these inappropriate removals. But unfortunately, even today in California, which is rather progressive in terms of appreciating the need for the Indian Child Welfare Act, a Native American child is 5 times more likely than a white child to be initially removed by Child Protective Services.
5 times.
Yeah, they're disproportionately represented throughout the country in our child welfare system. And so a lot of it is a failure on the part of the parents to engage in a timely manner in the treatment plan. And so with the joint jurisdiction court, we're trying to create a situation where the state court judge and the tribal court judge will sit together have a tribal social worker paired up with the county CPS worker. They can respond jointly to initial reports of child abuse or neglect. Hopefully we can find family, engage in active efforts to prevent removal that are culturally appropriate, try to keep the child safely in the home, and if not, to find family for appropriate preferences of placement under the Indian Child Welfare Act, develop culturally appropriate service plans, but hopefully with the involvement of the tribal court and probably more so with the social worker, more trust, more confidence, they engage in services in a timely manner and have more successful outcomes for our families.
So you want to heal the family instead of just administering justice or punishment. Sorry.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, one of the benefits I think from, and I am grateful to Judge Stephen Place, the presiding judge now of the Inyo County Superior Court, for his insights and willingness to move in this direction. He's also on the California Judicial Council has a tribal court, state court judges forum where it's representative of state court judges and tribal court judges. And Judge Place and I are both on it. I was on as a state court judge initially, and now I'm on as a tribal court judge, and he's on state court judge. So his leadership and his understanding and knowledge and wisdom here is a great benefit to help us try to produce these better outcomes for our Native American families.
Awesome. Judge Stout, thank you very much. I think it's a noble calling.
Thank you very much.
This is Jimmy T. with Eye on Inyo, healing the family to wellness. Family healing to wellness. Stay tuned.